do not have enough transport capacity or infrastructure that enables the rapid movement of NATO forces across Europe. The Deutsche Bahn, which all of us depend on, specifically DB Cargo, has enough rail cars to move 1.5 armored brigades simultaneously at one time. That's it. In other words, do you have the bridges and the rail lines, the tunnels, the infrastructure that allows movement, capability, capacity, and legal diplomatic challenges that are still required to be tackled before we can achieve the level of mobility that commanders and our political leaders would need. We've been reminded, actually, that war is a test of will, and it's a test of logistics. It's well documented. The fact that when you go from Poland into Lithuania, you still have to change to a different gauge because the Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia are still on the old Russian gauge rail, as is Ukraine and Georgia. So this adds additional steps. We've also discovered through exercises over the last few years that the further east you go, it becomes more difficult because the infrastructure is not as robust or redundant. The bridges that can hold a modern Abrams tank or Leopard or a British Challenger, not many bridges can sustain that sort of weight. And in the beginning, more than 6 billion euro were allocated for improving military mobility, to improve the quality of roads, widen tunnels, that sort of requirement, strengthening bridges. And now the budget's been cut down to less than 2 billion. I think it's around 1.6. And so unfortunately, the amount of resources that are being dedicated to this are going to be inadequate. And this is not something that NATO does. NATO doesn't do roads. This is a national responsibility, and the EU, of course. Poland is doing a lot of work. The Poles recognize that they're next. I mean, if the West cannot stop Russia and Ukraine, the Poles absolutely believe that they're next. And so they are working very hard to improve their infrastructure. They're looking at a major transportation hub somewhere south of Warsaw near Łódź that would be on the scale of the Frankfurt Flughafen, for example, but would also connect rail and highways and pipelines. I think there is a heightened sense of urgency because of, we've all been awakened now by the threat of what Russia is doing. And this is not an academic thing or just a debating topic now, that this is real. So I actually am optimistic. I would like to see us having moved a lot faster